When you think of Star Wars games, Republic Commando is not the first game that comes to mind. Usually you think of fierce lightsaber battles from the Jedi Knight series or a rich RPG story from Knights of the Old Republic. Squad-based first-person shooters are not really associated with Star Wars, however, Republic Commando excels as a successful shooter with an intuitive squad-based AI system that listens to your every command. Aspyr is once again thrown into the fray to give us Republic Commando, a classic of Star Wars, to the masses once again. And the question is, are they successful? So that's why we're going to ask today's Port versus Port, a video series highlighting the differences and the similarities of the vanilla and port versions of a singular title. A short disclaimer though, I reached out to Aspyr and they sent me both a PS4 and a Switch code, so I just want to let you guys know that. However, that's not going to influence my opinion on this video, and boy, do I have some criticism for you, Aspyr. So let us compare the original versions of the PC and the Xbox, and now the PS4 and the Switch. Let's get going. The Join subscription is a new feature right here on the Kelp Help channel. What does it do? So for only $1, it gives you the ability to use emotes during live stream chats or videos, and more will be added as time goes by. If you're interested, click the Join button right next to the subscribe to really know more information, or you can go into the video description and check out how that works. These little Join subscriptions really do help out the channel and allows me to create more emotes and more features for you guys, and more perks will be added along the way. Republic Commando took a very different approach from typical Star Wars titles. Usually you find Jedis as protagonists against opposition, but Republic Commando brought the opposite point of view. Republic Commando throws you as the leader of Delta Squad, a hardened and ruthless elite squad of the Republic to assassinate leaders or sabotage them.
Woohoo! Yeah! I love that smell! All I smell is burnt Geonosian.
The game's main approach to gameplay was a squad-based system, commanding your brothers to hack computer systems, planting bombs on doors, or firing on a single enemy. It was a system that not only worked due to a responsive and intelligent AI system, you felt as though you worked alongside such capable troopers, each with their own special ability. Their AI was smart enough to become self-sufficient or revive your fallen brothers during combat. You needed them as much as they needed you. Republic Commando was regarded as one of the best Star Wars games due to a great squad-based system, first-person tactics, and varied level design. March of 2005 saw the release of the Xbox version of Republic Commando and our first version to be released to the public. Beginning with the menu, we have some features you will not see in future ports, starting with multiplayer. It is pretty obvious that the Xbox Live is defunct on the console, but the split screen is intact and ready to be played. However, I do not think many people will be heading to their local game shop just to pick this up solely for multiplayer. Republic Commando Xbox might have been a solid version back in the day, but it's pretty poor in the modern age. Framerate is not only an inconsistent mess, but I had a difficult time getting through to how quickly it dips. Sure, when there are no NPCs, it runs at a smooth 60 frames at 480p. Add 1 or 2 characters and then we start having drops. Additional gunplay and firefights then brings that back to the 20s. Being a pretty late release in the Xbox lifecycle, I can understand how this may push the hardware, but when you compare console shooters of the time like Metroid Prime 2 or Time Splitter's Future Perfect that both run like silk, what's the point of playing this? And then you ask me to play this on an uncomfortable controller? I ask myself, thank God I never owned an Xbox back in the day. Okay, real talk though. I know I sound pretty harsh on this, but when the only thing Republic Commando Xbox has going for it is a low frame rate, it's disappointing, but not surprising. This version serves nothing more than simple nostalgia or novelty, but if you want stability and fluidity, good old PC rigs have you covered.
What do you know? They are eggs.
Let's give them a wide berth.
It is always expected to find the PC version to be the best among its ports due to accessibility, ease of installation, fluidity, and the use of mods. Republic Commando is no exception to these features and provides the best way to play this classic. The user interface of the main menu is very closely resembling the Xbox original, complete with a beautiful montage behind it. They both have the same features with some additional PC changes, such as your graphics and subtitles. Launching the game via single player, there are no surprises, finding the game runs at a smooth 60 frames all the way through. Shooting through Geonosians or giving commands is second nature thanks to your keyboard and mouse controls. Like many PC titles, the modding community is what helps makes this game truly shine and work to its fullest potential. Republic Commando has no native widescreen or ultra-wide support, but with some mods you can get this running to the best it can. The ability to adjust your resolution up to 4K or your FOV makes this a no-brainer. And if you guys are interested in learning what are the best mods for Republic Commando on PC, I will be making a guide very soon, so you can check that out, or if it's already done, you can click it right up here and it'll show you how to get done. Of course, being a first-person shooter, this plays at its strongest on PC, with precision mouse controls and as many hotkeys as your heart desires. Like the Xbox title, servers have been called off, so unless there's some online match I know nothing of, you will not be playing online with anyone. Overall, Republic Commando has no shortage of features, and this is one title you need to play on PC. It constantly goes on sale via Steam or third-party key vendors, so if you do not own this title, you have no excuse but to give it a go.
Oh, this is nice, boss. Very nice piece of ordnance here.
Not only does Republic Commando exceed all expectations of being a quality port, but the modding community also pulls through and shows that there will be no shortage of love and appreciation for this game anytime soon. Whether physical or Steam, there's no better way to play Republic Commando, at least until Aspyr came along.
Nice one, boss. Back to the scrap heap, Clanker.
I sure hope we don't encounter many more of those.
Earlier this year, during February's Nintendo Direct, a trailer dropped announcing developer Aspyr was to re-release Republic Commando for the Switch and PS4. These guys previously worked on porting the Jedi Knight series, so the title is in good hands, right? Both the Switch and PS4 closely resemble each other in features, but are opposites in performance, so let us begin with the Switch. As we open with the familiar menu, both ports have taken out split screen and online completely. Purchasing this new version of Republic Commando means you are only getting a single player experience in the package. Moving on settings, Aspyr thankfully added 4 button profiles in addition to 100% button remapping, so you can play this game exactly how you choose. In previous Aspyr release titles, fans were clamoring for button remapping, so I appreciate that this was included. Unironically, the Switch and the original Xbox share plenty of issues in both performance and fidelity. The game starts at smooth 60 with a bit of NPCs on screen, then bogs down to the 30s when heavy action arises. The fact that I even have to point out that the Switch and Xbox have common performance is already a problem in itself. While I am no developer, I feel as though this could have been better optimized. I'm pretty baffled Republic Commando was first announced on the Switch, yet runs this poorly. While I certainly had a better time recording footage on the Switch port than the Xbox, I can't help but feel there's so much more that could have been done. The Switch is not a technical powerhouse, but has proven it's very capable of playing some high quality games on the go. If Doom 2016 and Dragon Quest XI both look and run well when we consider their original hardware counterparts, a 16-year-old game like Republic Commando can do the same, if not better.
I'm ready for battle.
There can be a compromise of a lower resolution to keep the 60 FPS, but the fact that this game is being played anything below is a bit disappointing. Maybe my expectations were high, but considering Jedi Outcast and Academy ran so smoothly, I was expecting the same treatment. Surprisingly, undocked seems to run better than docked mode due to it being a lower frame rate than docked. Now this might not hit the target 60 FPS, but the frame rate feels more consistent than undocked. It ranges around the 30 frames with little dips other than excessive firefights, but I can tolerate this much more than undocked. However, not all is looking bad, and in contrast, was pretty surprised to see how crisp and clean the visuals look on Switch. From here you can see the visuals have a bit more muddy textures in comparison to the PC, but I do appreciate Aspyr kept a lovely looking picture in the end. Textures seem to have been dialed down as well as anti-aliasing, but I do appreciate the introduced sharpness that closely resembles the PC. You can see in the shots where it's not only one for one, but creates a pretty picture. The PS4 version is almost verbatim of the Switch with button remapping, the lack of multiplayer, and a creatable account, which at this point is kind of redundant. As expected with more powerful hardware, the PS4 can run this at a smooth 60 FPS with little to no frame dips during firefights. If you want the closest experience to what the PC can offer, the PS4 can easily deliver that in spades. The MSRP for Aspyr's port is $14.99, which is a bit much considering how cheap both the physical and digital copies are on Steam. Finding this game on discount is pretty simple, as sometimes it goes low for a couple bucks, so there's no excuse to not pick this up. While I do appreciate Republic Commando will have more accessibility on console, the Switch is a pretty hard recommendation for many. A pitiful variating frame rate is a lot to ask for in an FPS where timing shots and commanding clone troopers are the name of the game. The PS4 though is very consistent, a pretty looking port, and is an easier dose of Bacta to swallow for $14.99.
Get yourself some Bacta, Commando.
Retrieving Bacta.
But how does each port look in comparison to each other? In classic port versus port fashion, let's roll that clip comparing each title to each other. Republic Commando is a game that I unfortunately didn't grow up, not like the other Star Wars games, but I've always heard about it, how revered it is, how loved it is, and it's just an amazing game, and I'm very glad to be experiencing it for the first time. Believe it or not, this video is going to be my first time like really experiencing it, so I appreciate that. I just want to thank you guys so much for looking at the video, and thank you so much to Aspyr for allowing me to review this and sending out the codes, and hopefully I did the best and gave you guys constructive criticism. I know you guys can do well, just please fine-tune a couple things. I'm literally begging you. I know you guys can do this. If you're interested, like, subscribe, comment, do that whole shebang. You know what to do. More port versus ports are coming your way, and we do have a Discord channel if you want to check us out. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you soon, and take care.